G'day, everybody, and welcome to another DUC Migrating to Australia podcast. My name's Wes Zan, and I'm joined by Luke Studley. So, Luke, welcome, buddy.
Hey Wes, how are you?
I'm really good, mate. So, Luke, you're actually doing this podcast from your motor vehicle, mate. You're it's seven p.m. my time on a Wednesday. So, what time you got over there in the UK?
Yeah, it's 9:15 in the morning. Sat outside the site that I'm working on in the work van.
And just let the listeners know, mate. What's your occupation?
I'm an electrician.
You're a Sparky. So you've actually smashed out your process. You've done, really, really well. So do you just want to introduce who in your family is heading to Australia, mate?
Yep. So it's me, my wife Shelby, and I got two little boys. Lonnie who's 5, and Tudor who's 6.
Yeah, perfect. And you're from Wales?
Yeah, South Wales. Yeah.
Yeah. And lived in Wales your whole life, mate?
Yeah. Lived in my whole life. Yeah, in Pontypridd.
You're gonna get lots of Postman Pat jokes when you get here. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, probably.
You're gonna get hounded by them. Your accent's not. So you're not from the valleys, then, are you?
um, Pretty close, but no, not in the valleys. Just outside.
Yeah. So your accent's a little bit different to the people that are from the valleys. Is that right?
Yeah, it's not too far off, but a little bit different. Yeah.
And have you been to Oz before, mate?
Yes, we went in January. So we sold our house in December, and then went to Oz for 6 weeks. In January, we done a little recce trip. Flew to Perth. Stayed there for just over a week. Then flew across to Brisbane. Drove then up the Sunshine Coast in Noosa. Drove back down as far as Byron Bay, then back to Brisbane, flew to Sydney, and then from Sydney to Bali and Bali home. So had a nice holiday.
Wow, man, that's pretty epic in 6 weeks too. So, for the listeners out there, what would you recommend? 6 weeks. 6 weeks is a good time to get all that done, or you reckon longer or shorter? What advice would you give to people who are planning on doing a recce?
I don't think you're going to ever go wrong with a longer holiday. But yeah, 6 weeks. I thought it was great. It was enough time to get around everywhere we wanted to go. It was enough to cement in our minds that we wanted to move to Australia. That was decide where we wanted to move.
Yeah, Luke, you don't have to answer this question, but what was your budget like when you come here for 6 weeks and everything like that, flight, travel, and all that? Do you remember? You don't have to answer if you don't want to, but I think it's a good guide for people to. You went to a lot of places. You saw a lot of things in a reasonably short period of time.
Yeah, on the way out. We went to Dubai on the way out and Kuala Lumpur too on the way to Australia. So
Wow.
the budget went a little bit out of the window. I think it was about 20 grand. I think we spent altogether.
And that's pound?
Yeah, pound. Yeah.
Okay, so
just the flights mainly cost the flights are mainly the biggest cost of a thought with. Obviously, when you're paying for the two little ones, they're the same price as an adult flight. So
yeah, smaller backsides, mate, but they still cough up a seat, don't they? So the airlines love that.
Exactly.
So that's really interesting, though. So before that 6 week recce, have you ever been to Australia yourself, or Shelby ever been to Australia before that?
Neither of us have ever been.
Okay, so
we've always spoke about it. Since our first date, we mentioned that we both wanted to move to Australia one day. So that was like 9 years ago. So
wow.
This is where we are now.
So you're pretty committed, mate, sticking to that after 9 years. Hope you didn't agree on too many other things on that first date.
Only a couple.
So 20 grand later, mate, you went around, you did a fair bit of stuff, but focusing on Australia, what was the intention to actually go out there and find a place where you wanted to settle, or was it just like, let's visit, or did you already have an indication of where you wanted to move to?
It was more to find a place of where we'd actually like to move to. Shelby had her heart set on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland. I had my heart set on Perth and Western Australia. Shelby would still like to go to Queensland, to be honest, but that humidity is just not for me. The minute I walk outside and just sweating, and it's like, no, it's not for me. But I think Perth's be better for my work as a Sparky too. So that's how we decided on Western Australia.
Okay, that's good. So you won that little battle then, and you're heading to WA. What was a bit of a highlight on that recce? Obviously, you came up with the decision for weather being Perth, away from the humidity. But was the sunny coast like a close second? Was it like a good discussion, or you were just like, nah, I'm not working in this heat?
No, it was a very close second. Yeah, Sunshine Coast is beautiful too, and for this nice relaxed atmosphere there. We really enjoyed it. To me, I think we spent the most time actually on the Sunshine Coast rather than anywhere else.
Yeah.
In Oz, I think we actually spent the most time there. And I'm not saying that we might, if Perth doesn't work out, I think we'd go and try that, before we ever thought about going home. So,
well, Luke, we'll come back to the visa in a bit. But what visa are you? You've had your invite, so we'll come back to that. But what visa are you going for, mate?
190.
190. Okay, so you've got a permanent residency visa, so you can obviously mix and match and everything. And obviously, the heat was one of the factors. Did you look at the cost of houses? Did you look at was there other factors that you looked at, or was it mainly just the heat that was the decision maker?
No, we looked at we thought Western Australia is a lot more affordable than anywhere else in Australia, and it just seemed like it was a lot more work for me as a Sparky there too.
Yep.
To be honest, they were the main factors. It was more for my work, the weather, the cost of living was a little bit lower.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, main factors.
And what does Shelby do for work, mate?
Nothing at the moment, but she's hoping to set up a little business for herself. She likes to do I don't know what you'd call it in Australia, like grazing boards. I don't know how to explain.
I'm not sure. Because of your accent, mate. I heard grading boats. I don't know what
Oh,
else. What did you say?
Sorry, grazing boards.
Grazing boards.
Like cheese and ham and like little bits and bobs you could tweet.
Oh, mate, she'll have a killing. She could probably even set up a little. Oh, we won't tell all the listeners this, but a little grazing boards and all that for the UK style, mate. Put a bit of bit of UK flavour to it and all that. If you put a few Welsh cakes on there, mate.
Yeah, that was an idea that's cropped up, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I got a mate out here, very good mate, that does it for all weddings and everything like that, and she loves it. But mate, some of the platters she puts on and the presentation of it, it just looks awesome. You just want to smash all that food when you see it. So, okay, cool. So let's go back to the visa side because that's obviously important. So you actually, a little fun fact for you, mate. You actually signed up with us on the 14th of the 7th, 2023, and this is being recorded on the 16th of the 10th, 2024. So you started with the Down Under Centre. Obviously, you did your English test. Do you remember the score you got in your English test, Luke?
I had a proficient English, which is not the best one, but I got by. I think that was my a bit of a. I think everyone dreads the English exam, so I failed the first one. The second one, funny enough, I got stuck in a traffic jam in an accident, so missed the second exam. So trying to get a refund then of PT was a bit of a mission. But managed to get a refund and then resat the exam and passed on the third time.
Okay.
Which is a big relief, I think, for most tradies when you pass that English exam.
Oh, for sure, mate. I assessed 4 plumbers last night. I got to assess 4 plumbers tomorrow, actually. And I remember I was chatting to a few of them, and they all did their English test, and they were all like, "That's done." And I'm like, "Get through your practical assessment today, boys, and you're on the home straight." Well, we say the home straight, then you play the waiting game. But your times are actually really incredible. So You signed up with us. You did your did you do your skills assessment before you did your English test, or did you do them at similar times?
I think I might have done my English test beforehand.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I started beforehand. I think I need to book the English test straight away because I just thought I just want to get it done
Yep.
and out of the way.
I
Yeah,
actually,
so
yeah, I feel like that's actually the best strategy. I think it's really important for people to prepare all the documentation for the skills assessment, your work experience points, and before you pay for the skills assessment, do your English test. So then we can sort of identify exactly what options you've got with the visa. You know, is it a 190, 189, 491? Work out options, and then doing the actual skills assessments more of a formality because, I mean, as an electrician, you did a documentary assessment, which is gathering the required documents, and then which has its challenges. And then you had the technical interview, and then you did the 1 day practical assessment with ATTC. So out of now, you've only just done the practical assessment. You completed that in June. So pretty much a year later, you actually
yeah,
sat your practical assessment.
yeah, yeah, near enough a year later.
And
Um,
and what was it hardest part, mate? The technical, gathering the documents, technical interview, or practical assessment? What did you feel?
the documentation, I think,
Yeah,
was just really just trying to find the time each evening to sit down and just tick off a little bit by bit.
yeah,
Um, I think that's the only way you can do it. Obviously, with two young kids,
yep,
is more get them into bed and then try and find the time to sit down for an hour to do some documents. So
yeah.
that is difficult, but the technical interview and the practical assessment they're both straightforward. I don't think that's anything for an electrician to worry about.
Yeah. So you got your completed your skills assessment, and then once you got your skills assessment complete, Trish put in your expression of interest, and you got an invite. How quick after?
I think it was 2 weeks later.
That's massive, mate. That's massive.
Yeah,
It is really about the time of the year when you put these things in, guys, when the state's open and everything like that. But Luke, that's to this is actually like you're like a perfect client for us, I guess. The way I explain for people how to prepare for things is, you've got to do your English test, do your skills assessment, do your English test, make sure you got the points, put in your skills assessment. When you get your skills assessment done, put in the EOI, and to be snapped up in 2 weeks, that's really impressive. And now you haven't officially accepted your invite yet because you and the family are coming to Australia on a tourist visa. Is that correct?
yeah, we arrive in Perth on the 4th of November.
Wow. So geez, mate, you're only, mate, you're a couple of weeks out. So the idea of doing that is then that's what we call is, I guess, lodging onshore. So then you'll have the 3 months wait. Mate, you've done this really well, like, because obviously Australia closes sort of in December a little bit. Um, and then schools and all that start and everything like that early Feb. So you guys will probably like, what's your plan with all of that, mate? Like, obviously, when you get here for the first few months, what's your plan?
Yeah, obviously sort we secured a house, secured a rental with Neely from the relocation with the DUC relocation team.
Oh,
So
mate,
when we
Neely's
were,
so nice. Make sure you catch up with her for a drink, mate. Um,
yeah, we'll do it. It's
bad
funny, she's
news
from
though.
Pontypool, so she's from Wales as well, which is
Yeah,
quite funny.
I assessed her partner. He's a plumber. He's one of the good guys, mate. So we'll see if you guys can be friends, plumbers and sparkies in WA. But
Yeah, I'm sure we'll do.
the Welsh connection might get you there. Now, Neely's a legend. So, all right, cool. So you secured a house through our relocation side, and give us a rundown, mate, of the house you're moving into.
Is a 4 bedroom, 2 bathroom, double garage, like the typical um, bungalow style house. It's in Golden Bay, it's the South Perth. Yeah, it's 5 minutes from the beach, which is exactly what we wanted. Um, yes, can't wait really. We've been in with our in-laws for the past 11 months, so it's
Yep.
going to be nice. It's going to be nice to have our own place again.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, we are really excited.
So, okay, so you fly over, you go straight into it. Are you looking to buy a property, you know, reasonably straight away, or are you guys holding off on that until you find, like, till you get yourself settled, or is buying a property way down the line? What are you doing with all that side?
I'm not too sure where, to be honest. I don't know whether to try and wait just to make sure we want to live in that area. I think without me starting work and knowing where most of my work may be, I think it's hard to look for somewhere of a permanent house. So I think rent for the foreseeable future, and then we'll see how it goes from there.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's good. That's good. So, okay, cool. So you live with the in-laws and all that. Was it challenging and all that, telling your parents and the in-laws that you're heading over to the other side of the world? How'd they go with that?
Um, yes, it has been difficult. Both like the kids, my kids are the only grandkids on both sides.
Yeah.
So obviously is it's going to leave a big void in both sides of the family, taking us moving the kids on the other side of the world. So, um, but I think deep down everyone knows we're doing it for the right reasons, and you only have to look out the window today, and it's absolutely hammering down with rain, and I don't think it's going to stop now, probably till April. So,
Mate, you're in your car. I can see. I can
yeah,
actually see. There you go. So, yeah, no, that's beauty. Oh, look, we get rain and all that here, I guess, but yeah, it's definitely nowhere like the UK. That's one thing I love about living in Australia is obviously the weather. So I guess that's when you guys. So 9 years ago, you and Shelby, you're on the date. Where was your first date, mate? Where was it? Do you remember?
yeah. I actually took it to the circus, Wes.
Took it to where?
To the circus.
Oh, the circus. I think you said surfers. I thought, oh, it's in the sunny coast. No, you took it to the circus. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, bit of a random first date, but yeah, yeah. Must have been a good one because she stuck around.
Yeah, that's it, mate. It worked, and obviously you got the agreement straight away, mate. Got the prenup of moving to Oz. That's always important. Um, and then there must have been a point in time, obviously, because you started the process like just over a year ago with us, and to get to a point where now you've got your mate. It's ridiculous. It's like 15 months later from when you signed up with us to pretty much getting your, accepting your invite and being in Australia. This time that's pretty quick. So much has happened. So how long before you signed up with us, Luke? Were you guys telling the family or committing to Australia, or was it just like, you took her back to the circus, mate? 8 years later, and just said, hey, let's get this sorted, or was there heaps of planning before?
No, it was a bit of a spur of the moment thing. I have a mate who lives just north of Sydney, and funny enough, he messaged me saying, "Look, there's a job here if you want one." And then that kind of got my thoughts thinking of, well, maybe Australia could be a good idea. Um, yeah, so really then the cogs started turning from then, and then I think it was a quick Google search of a visa agent. You guys come up. I think I phoned whilst I was in work. It's quite random, really, and then said to Shelby, "Look, we can actually move to Australia if we'd like to. We can get enough points." And then she said, "Well, come on, let's go for it." So
That's
that was
awesome.
it. We signed up straight away then, and then obviously I had to tell people our plans.
And at what point did you tell the in-laws and all that? When you got like, at what stage do you start telling them that that the family's off?
I knew enough straight away. Yeah, I think we told them straight away
Yeah.
that our plans were to go.
Yeah, we did a podcast the other week actually with Vic about parent visas and all that, because obviously generally what happens, yeah, the parents like to, you know they can and afford it and everything like that, and when they qualify they like to come over. So I thought I'd plug that one in. People who were thinking about the parent side, there is a podcast we did on that. So all right, so in your mind right now, Luke, what's Australia going to look like when you get here, mate? What's life for the Studleys going to look like?
Um, Lots of outdoor activities. Just going for nice walks. Just spending quality time really as the four of us. Back here in Wales, I work away a lot and work some long hours, so not home a great deal some weeks. Might just catch them for a couple of days at the end of the week. Um, so yeah, really like to spend the next couple of years just spending time with us as a family, and yeah, see if we can get Shelby's business up and running and go from there really.
Yeah, that's
But
awesome.
lots of and I'd like to learn to surf. Where to be honest, that's always been a dream of mine.
Yeah,
Um,
that's hard.
yeah, so that's something. I don't know how I'm going to manage at 30. Like coming up to 32, learn to surf, but we'll
No,
see.
you'll be fine, mate. You look healthy, mate. That's what it's about. You just got to get surfing fit, mate. It takes a while to get the arms and legs kicking enough to actually catch waves, but just get yourself just start off with a big board, mate. That's probably the best way on small little waves, getting that, like getting it fit. Because I remember years ago when I was surfing a lot, it's so competitive out there, mate. Like it's crazy how
Yeah,
competitive it is. It becomes their passion, and then you're actually fighting for spots on waves. And depending on how often the sets come through, you're stuck. But it's so enjoyable. Like we got a paddleboard. We've got the bay out the front of us, or a front beach, whatever you want to call it. And it's so good. We just take it down, like blow it up the paddleboard. Actually, I'm lazy, Luke. That's a lie. I actually pump it up, stick it in the shed, and it's there for the summer. And we just walk across. We can walk to the beach, walk across, and you get the kids on that. Even the wife gets on there, and it's so, mate, it's so good. And when you said before about like the outdoor side, I think some of the probably one of the qualities I guess we have here in Australia is that sometimes you can be away. I'll give you an example. My wife we got her a little secondhand bike. She's never really ridden a bike much in the UK, and my two sons they're always on their bikes now, and I got a little seat on the back of the bike for my daughter. So when I got my partner one from the old, we call it cash converters. It's like a secondhand shop sort of thing. Um,
yeah,
Anyway, it's got a basket on the front, Luke. So she's like, "Oh my god!" So it's just go down, pick a hot chook up, mate. They're like $10 from Woolworths, so like a whole hot chicken. Pick up some, some fresh rolls, and mate, a bit of coleslaw or a bit of potato salad in these tubs. It's probably about $16 for the whole meal. Puts it in her basket, and then we're off at the beach for the day. And we've just got food when we're hungry. We got lunch. It's nice and fresh, and you're just out and about. And before you know it, 2 hours pass, 4 hours pass, and then you sort of, I don't know, I wouldn't say it's not too much that sense of fulfillment, but you just feel like you've sort of achieved on that day. You've done
yeah,
something. But then before you know it, mate, it's nap time for the little ones. So you got to come home. So I think you and the family will get that. Are the boys outdoor kids?
yeah, yeah. They love being outdoors. The youngest one, Lonnie, yeah, you can't keep him indoors. The minute he wakes up, he goes by the back door and says, "I want out."
Yeah.
So, but then when you look outside and it's hammering down with rain, you're like, yeah, can't really go out in it. So, yeah, if he could live outside, I think he would, to be honest.
That's like
So,
the challenge.
yeah,
All right. I know. I can't wait to sort of hear your story about like, when it comes here. So I guess so it was both your decision to move, which is really good. I think sometimes when it's more one partner's dream and the other one follows on with it, the other one sort of got that bit of distance. But it's good that you and Shelby are both on board, because that will make that transition a lot easier. Because the reality is, mate, it's everything about this visa process is challenging. Everything. Gathering the documents, challenging. English test, challenging. Your waiting time, probably you might have felt that it was challenging, but compared to others, that was pretty good. And the fact that you're arriving to a property, 4-bedroom house. What are you living in at the moment? Is it anywhere near a 4-bedroom property?
yeah, Shelby's parents got quite a big property, so yeah, so it's plenty of room for us there. Um, yeah,
And
it's with
before you moved into the in-laws, like where were you living? Was it like was it because when I was in London, it was like a shoebox, and then to where we are now is just a normal house, I guess. But it's worlds apart, you know.
yeah, we had a little 3-bed semi-detached property, but yeah, nothing really like what we're going to be moving into in Australia, to be honest. The one in Austria is me a lot more spacious and yeah, a lot nicer and a lot quieter streets. So yeah, we're looking forward to it.
So you're coming in literally 3 weeks, mate. So what have you got left to do, Luke? What do you do before you're 3 weeks away from moving over?
Um, to be honest, we're in the middle of renovating a house, so
Oh
that's
God.
like there's like 60-minute makeover there, trying to sort that out.
Yeah.
Then we got a leaving party on Friday, so
Yep.
that's to come.
Are you
Yeah, and then I
theming
just
the
keep,
party up, Luke? Is it a theme party or just to catch up at a pub or something?
yeah, a little Aussie themed party. It's quite a few people coming, to be honest. We've got a
What's your
band and
attire, mate? What are you gonna wear?
uh, I the one outfit's a bit of a surprise there, to be honest. You'll have to wait and see for a picture. Um, the yeah, and then
Is it
the
common?
old pardon.
Give me a clue. Is it a common Aussie theme? Can I try guess it, or is it just like
No,
I'll never guess it?
I don't think you're gonna guess it.
Oh,
All right,
I'm
I'll
gonna
give you
have
a
a few
clue.
stabs.
I'll give you a clue. Olympics.
Oh, really? Ian Thorpe,
Yeah. No,
Grant Hackett,
no,
Kathy Freeman.
no.
Will you tell me the sport at least?
Not really a sport. That's another clue.
Oh no, I know. Um, oh, you're kidding me. Oh, you're gonna do the dancing, aren't you? What's her name?
Maybe.
Yeah, that's the one, mate. That's the one. I forgot her name now.
Or Reagan.
Reagan. That's the one, mate. Yeah, yeah. She'll be on the next $5 bill out here, mate. Reagan will be. Oh, that's awesome, though. So, yeah, so you've got the party going and all that, and then so you're renovating a house. So, what are you planning on doing? Are you planning on putting it on the market and bringing that money to Oz to purchase,
Yeah.
or is it, you're planning on renting it out and sort of having a bit of income?
No, that's going to go on the market as soon as it's done
Yeah,
too. Is because the invite came in so fast after 2 weeks, we didn't really expect it to.
yeah.
So then we were like, well, now we got 60 days to get to Australia, so it was a bit of everything's been a bit of a rush since then. We didn't expect the invite to come so quickly, to be honest.
Made a Sparky, good score, good age, English speaking partner. I think they're pretty good things. But let's go back to that. So that would have been put in the invite. Put in the expression of interest. Get the invite. How does that conversation happen with you and Shelby? And say, do we accept it and then wait a year, however long it's going to take to get the visa, or we do this now and just speed everything done, get the reno done, obviously the in-laws, the party and everything like that. Was that hard? That sounds hard.
Yeah, it's been challenging, a bit stressful, but we was always aiming to lodge on shore,
Yeah.
because obviously we'd already sold our house.
Okay.
It'd be a matter of finding someone else to live. If the visa took like a year, it'd be like, do we find someone else to live and move all the stuff there? And it was like, oh, we got to go through all that again rather than just get to Australia and yeah, have a nice break before we get stuck into work again.
Now, the next question, mate, I'm not asking for you to plug the DUC here, but you guys are doing things a very good way. Obviously, where are you getting this from? Is it from, part of the Down to Centre services, or is it something you've studied yourself? Because everything you're doing is pointing in the right direction. Like, obviously it's happened quickly, but you sort of absorbed the shock because you planned it. How did you get to that point?
Um, a, a little bit of planning our end. I think because we always planned to try and get out there for November time. But then the DUC also been great. We've I think the process with yourselves is pretty like step by step. So but then you can try and speed things up yourselves by getting your English test done a bit sooner. And just really just trying to make sure you got everything in place so that you're ready for the next step. So once the one step's completed, you've got everything ready to move on to the next step, rather than you have a gap then where you have to do other things. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
really, that was.
It's so interesting this, because obviously, like, again, everything you've done is spot on, but also you've done it quick. But I don't know. I just reckon it's awesome the way that you've gone and done it. Like, I don't know. I just, like, we do lots of podcasts, but obviously I speak to people every day, and everyone's on the DUC club, and there's like everything. Have you had a meltdown? There's got to be some negative sides to it, mate. You and Shelby had like a few. I don't know, like sort of discussions where you've sort of really panicked, and are we doing the right decision, or have you been pretty confident, pretty comfortable with the decisions that you've been making?
I think the past 2 weeks when we were trying to secure a rental, there was a couple of blips where things got a bit stressful, and we was like, are we the choice between moving north of the river in Perth and south of the river in Perth? There's a big debate whether which one is better. So that threw a spanner in the works completely, and then trying to make sure your property is near schools for the children.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think we found actually finding a rental probably one of the most challenging parts.
Okay.
Really just the location. Neely's been great in finding us the property, but just telling her the actual location where we wanted to live.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had a couple of moments last week and the week before where there was a couple of meltdowns, to be honest. But then we thought we were nowhere near of securing the property, and then within a day, Neely viewed the property and secured it it was literally the next day. We didn't think we had a meltdown the next day. Neely viewed the property, put the application in, it got accepted all in the day. So we was like, oh, well, that bit of stress over with.
Yeah.
So
God, you're a very relaxed person. Like, yeah, it's good. I think that's important when you're coming to Oz. Have you always been relaxed, mate, in life with all that sort of stuff? Like, you'd sort of taken these challenges like you know, pretty relaxed with it. Is that always what you've been like, mate?
yeah, I think Shelby'd say I'm very laid back. Yeah, try to just look positive on everything, not try and get. I think like everything works out in the end. So
Mm.
you just got to keep going, and I think everything works out. When like when you're looking for a property, you'll get the property you're meant to have. That's the way it is, whether you're buying one or renting one. I just think
Oh, it's always,
yeah,
yeah.
just got
If
to
you're
be
an Aussie, mate,
positive.
it's too hard. What about with the boy with Lonnie and Tudor? So how do they feel about it? Have they expressed any anxiety? Are they too young? Do they understand exactly what's happening? Have you addressed that with the guys?
Um, Lonnie doesn't really understand. Tudor though, he's very mature for a 6-year-old. So when we first were saying, look, we're going in 60 days, he was like, no, I'm staying. He wanted to move in with Shelby's brother. So he said, I'm not going, I'm staying with Ellis, which is Shelby's brother. I'm staying with him. And we was like, no, you're coming. So he was adamant. And probably the past 2 weeks, he started to get excited. Like, we've had to work on him. We've shown him where we're going to move. Explained to him, like, you're going to have 3 months with me, where he would never have had before because of work. So it's
Yeah.
like, we can go do this, we can go do that, try and yeah, he's just adamant that as soon as we get there, I need to buy him a bike. So I was like, okay,
That's
you're gonna
easy.
have the bike, no problem.
That's an easy fix, mate. Get him on
Yeah.
a bike, mate, as soon as he's on there. What are you doing with all your belongings and all that? Obviously you probably haven't had time to. Are you planning on shipping, or just starting fresh when you get here?
I think we're shipping 10 boxes, so we haven't gone for the full move cube. It's just 10 boxes of stuff. It's coming over 70s. I think we managed to pack up most of it last weekend.
Yep.
Yeah, so sending 10 boxes. I think they go out on the 30th. But obviously they take like 103 days to get to us. And then I think we're going to send one box and my tool bag. on a plane, so they get there within 5 days, just so we get them as soon as we get there. But it's not much. It's like sentimental stuff, clothes, um, just bits and bobs really, just stuff we really didn't want to throw out. Other than that, everything's just going to start afresh, furniture wise and stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. And so what's Christmas going to look like for the Studleys this year then? Have you got plans on it, or you haven't thought about that? You probably don't have time to think about stuff like that.
Yeah, I haven't really thought about it, to be honest. Hopefully on a beach with the sun out. It'll be
Yeah.
nice to
And
have a different time of Christmas this year.
but have you reached out? Have you got like mates or anyone else? Like I know you mentioned a mate in Sydney, but and you got Neely obviously, and I'm sure they're like you'll get along with them. They're pretty cool. So, but have you sort of got other allies and all that when you get here?
No, we don't really know anyone. Whereas to be honest, in where we're moving, so if anyone does want to reach out, we're very sociable people and would like to make friends. So
Oh, mate, just jump
yeah,
on the DUC club and just let people know, mate, because I think your first Christmas is always, maybe because you're only getting there, maybe, like a month and a bit, well, nearly 2 months, I guess, whatever, um, before Christmas. But I always feel the first Christmas and the second Christmas are probably tough. I know my wife felt that a little bit. We had my family here, but I think Christmas is such a, normally would it be fair to say that you'd spend Christmas seeing your in-laws and your parents?
yeah, yeah. Christmas is very family orientated, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's going to be a lot different being away from everyone and just the four of us. Because I don't think either of us have ever had a Christmas like this. So it's going
Yeah.
to be different. That's for sure. But yeah, just got to try and enjoy it.
My son was 4 when we came here, my middle child, and he was all like adamant that like Santa's definitely going to send his stuff to the UK. He was like Santa's definitely.
That's what two they're saying.
Yeah, I'm just like, he won't, mate. Just write a letter. He's like, we can't write anyway, whatever. I remember just going through that with him, thinking how, yeah, how they work. I guess it's a bit like your son with his bike. Get that sorted. Once he gets that done, mate, it's so good. What I would recommend you do is jump on the relocation website. There's a kids section on there called the Jolly Club. Um,
Yeah,
Jump on that, mate. There's some really good tutorial sort of stuff on how to pick a rip and all that with the water. Even good for you
yeah.
guys to understand. Like I think that's important, especially if you're going to take up surfing and that as well. You'll be okay because you'll be on a board. You just float back out and then paddle back in. But look at that, and then there's quite a few things. There's also lots of on that page. Heaps of other migrants have put in there like places to go and see and everything. So you'll probably have about 3 months worth of day trips planned just by that one site, on the
Oh, great.
relocation website. And then there's also things where if you want to, like the kids can ask other kids questions and everything like that. So that works. So, but Luke, mate, I just wonder, is there anything like you'd like to add or anything you'd like to comment about? Any tips, hints, anything you'd like to add, mate, before we close this podcast off?
Just say a big thank you to everyone from the DUC where it's helped us throughout the journey. I know sometimes we feel like we're pestering people and we're bombarding people with questions, but everyone's willing to help, and yeah, so big thank you really, and yeah, we look forward to starting a new life in Australia.
No, look, mate, you're very welcome. I think we have a very professional team. They all love doing what they're doing, so that helps. And mate, I reckon you guys are going to absolutely smash Oz, and I hope. I'm sure Lisa will hit you up in 12 months, mate, and we'll catch up with you guys and see what life is like in WA. Who knows, mate? You could be in the sunny coast by then. You could be a professional surfer, mate. It all. Who knows? I just hope that you, with the work side off it, mate. I know it's easy to fall back into old habits. I mean, I'm work flat out, but I get to work from home, so I get to see the kids a lot. But yeah, hopefully you can manage that, mate, because that's obviously really important, especially for their transition, settling in, because they'll be. Wow, the 5-year-old will be in prep then. He'll start prep.
Yeah, yeah.
Prep is great fun.
I think they both go back. I think they both go back a year in school.
Yeah.
Because they're both born in August, so they were the youngest in the year in the UK. But now they're going to be like not the youngest in Australia, which is helpful to be honest. I think they could go back a year in school.
That's awesome.
If I'm correct.
Yeah. No, that's very common. That's what we did. My Jet did. I always forget the name. What do you call prep in the UK? What's that first schooling thing they do after not kinder? We call it kinder, but after that,
Nursery
no. But before after that, what do you call it? Reception. That's right.
or reception, yeah.
So he did reception in the UK, and then we popped him back into prep. New school, but all the other kids were new, reasonably new. They probably met each other at kinder and play groups and whatever. But geez, it was awesome. Like just now he's like one of the older boys, like bigger and stuff like that. But he already had that year of school, so it worked really, really well for him.
Yeah.
It's those choices we make, I think, that can help them. So, but mate, just thank you again for really making the time, mate, to do these podcasts, and I'm sure the listeners appreciate it. So, guys, if you ever want to join a podcast, if you think you've got an interesting story or you've got something to tell, do reach out to us because migration isn't just about putting in a visa, skills assessment, English test. There's a whole lot of stuff that goes around it, and I think if we can help other people like what you've done today, put an hour out of your time to sort of help people and give something to people to listen to. I just think that's really good. So thank you so much again for making the time, mate. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you very much, Rez.
Cool. All right, legends. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care, everyone. See ya.
Yeah.